think, Marge. All I need is a title.
Are you aware that at 9:23 on the night of July the 9th, the day you were nominated to the Supreme Court by President Trump, Senator Schumer said, 23 minutes after your nomination, "I will oppose Judge Kavanaugh's nomination with everything I have. I have a bipartisan, and I hope a bipartisan majority will do the same. The stakes are simply too high for anything less." Well, if you weren't aware of it, you are now. Did you meet with Senator Dianne Feinstein on August 20th?
I did meet with Senator Feinstein.
Did you know that her staff had already recommended a lawyer to Dr. Ford?
I did not know that.
Did you know that her and her staff had this allegations for over 20 days?
I did not know that at the time.
If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You've said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsay said hello, because I voted for them. I would never do to them what you've done to this guy. This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics. And if you really wanted to know the truth, you sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy. Are you a gang rapist?
No.
I cannot imagine what you and your family have gone through. Boy, y'all want power. God, I hope you never get it. I hope the American people can see through this sham, that you knew about it and you held it. You had no intention of protecting Dr. Ford. None. She's as much of a victim as you are. God, I hate to say it because these have been my friends. But let me tell you, when it comes to this, you're looking for a fair process, you came to the wrong town at the wrong time, my friend. Do you consider this a job interview?
The advice and consent role is like a job interview.
You consider that you've been through a job interview?
I've been through a process of advice and consent under the Constitution. Which
Would you say you've been through hell?
I've been through hell and then some.
This is not a job interview.
Yeah.
This is hell. This is going to destroy the ability of good people to come forward because of this crap. Your high school yearbook. You have interacted with professional women all your life, not one accusation. You're supposed to be Bill Cosby when you're a junior and senior in high school. And all of a sudden you got over it. It's been my understanding that if you drug women and rape them for 2 years in high school, you probably don't stop. Here's my understanding. If you lived a good life, people would recognize it, like the American Bar Association has the gold standard. His integrity is absolutely unquestioned. He is the very circumspect in his personal conduct, harbors no biases or prejudices. He's entirely ethical, is a really decent person. He is warm, friendly, unassuming. He's the nicest person. The ABA. The one thing I can tell you, you should be proud of, Ashley, you should be proud of this, that you raised a daughter who had the good character to pray for Dr. Ford. To my Republican colleagues, if you vote no, you're legitimizing the most despicable thing I have seen in my time in politics. You want this seat? I hope you never get it. I hope you're on the Supreme Court. That's exactly where you should be. And I hope that the American people will see through this charade and I wish you well, and I intend to vote for you, and I hope everybody who's fair-minded will.
Almost everyone who follows politics should know this story. During the last year of President Obama's second term, Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia died. President Obama nominated a man named Merrick Garland as Scalia's replacement. However, the Republican majority at that time held up the nomination and made sure that Garland did not get what the Democrats thought was only fair. He did not receive a committee hearing or a floor vote within the U.S. Senate. Once President Trump was in office, the left made a big deal that they would oppose anyone that they thought was too radical, which, because they hated Donald Trump, meant virtually anyone he would pick. When Neil Gorsuch was appointed to the Supreme Court over the weak opposition from Senate Dems, who said that Trump might get one nomination past him, but not two, and the leftist radicals pounded the table and said, "Damn right, you better fight the next one." What we are seeing now is the result of that. This summer, President Trump continued to keep his promise of nominating a conservative caliber of judge to the High Court. Brett Kavanaugh is a man of good character. He has a beautiful wife and daughter. His judicial opinions have been sound. He was selected for President Trump's judicial shortlist by the likes of the Heritage Society, and he received a Gold Star review from the American Bar Association. All around, Brett Kavanaugh is a good man. Christine B. Ford has made allegations from 1982 that Brett Kavanaugh was one of a number of people who sexually assaulted her at a party while she was in high school. However, nothing happened. No charges were ever filed, and no one went to jail over the allegations. While thinking about this, the only conclusion I can come to was that Ford did not want to get whoever was involved in trouble at that time. Fast forward to 2018, and Miss Ford is a Democrat, a Hillary supporter, and she hates Donald Trump. And when Brett Kavanaugh is nominated to a position on the Supreme Court, all of a sudden there's an opportunity to deal a blow, not only to the man Ford thought was involved in a heinous act, but also to the president that she hated. During the summer, she came forward and made her accusation. The Democrats took the story in July and sat on it. The committee hearings opened up as a spectacle.
Mr. Chairman, I ask for a roll call vote on my motion to adjourn.
As protesters constantly interrupted the proceedings, and the Democrats continuously demanded an FBI investigation into the matter, or they whined about not being able to call for delays in the business of the committee.
And you're rightly proud.
Mr. Chairman, if we cannot be recognized, I move to adjourn.
The American people.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn.
Directly from Judge Kavanaugh.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn. Mr. Chairman, we have been denied real access to the documents we need to advise.
Mr. Chairman, regular order is called for.
Which turns this hearing into a charade and a mockery of our norms.
Well,
Mr. Chairman, I therefore move to adjourn this hearing.
okay.
Shut up! God, you just morons! I'm surrounded by morons!
Once Ford agreed to testify before the committee, the Democrats hatched their plan. Ford would have her say just before any vote on Kavanaugh would be had, and the damage would be enough to derail his nomination. After all, women should be heard and believed, as the attack dog media outlets breathlessly let us all know. In the end, Ford had her say. She was heard. Despite what the Trump-hating media might want us all to think, believing Miss Ford comes after her story is investigated and verified. While she has said that various people were witnesses to the events of 36 years ago, no one she named confirmed her story. People who know Kavanaugh say that he was not that kind of person who would assault a woman. Basically, At the end of Thursday's hearings, Ms. Ford had done more damage to her story and to her credibility than anybody else ever could. But the bigger story here was the Democrats and how they have abused and misused the advise and consent role of the U.S. Senate. All along, they have known that Brett Kavanaugh comes highly recommended and greatly respected by both people who knew him personally and others in his field. They have known that his decisions have been fair and impartial and that he takes the U.S. Constitution very seriously. The only reason they have opposed this man's being raised to the highest court in the country is because they don't like Donald Trump, and they want to make sure that he never succeeds at anything he tries while he's in office as the President of the United States. My friends, the Democrats have stooped to playing politics with the issue of sexual assault, which is disgraceful. Not only because, as Senator Lindsay Graham says, that good people will be hesitant to step forward for nomination to high office, but because future victims of sexual assault might not come forward for fear that they or their families might be used as some political football in some high-profile cause. The Democrats and their supporters in the Me Too movement and the media have also allowed this particular nomination hearing to become a political assassination against someone, not because of anything even of political substance, but because they hate him and they hate the president that put his name forward in nomination. And the weapon was a 36-year-old sexual assault allegation. Think about that one, my friends.